Good evening, everyone. Today, our team going to present UX Design Trend 2021. First of all, I will explain what is UX mean. User experience or UX involved as a result of the improvements to UI. Once there was something for user to interact with their experience, whether positive, negative, or nature, changed how user felt about those interactions. UX is often best when it goes unnoticed, but once a year, we get the spotlight the UX design trend that are too innovative to be ignored. In the preparation for 2021 UX trends list, we reached out to our community of UX experts from around the world, and their predictions appear to share a common trait. While strict minimalize has been the drive of a seamless experience up until now, the future of UX design is integrating a lot more realism backed into the mix, whether this is through AR interface, lifelike animations or window or excepting the UX design trends of 2021 are blurring the line between the digital and the real like never before. To see what we mean, let's explore the top 8 UX designs trend coming our way in 2021.
Okay, this UX design has 8 trends in 2021. They are anthropomorphic animations, advanced micro interactions, individual learning, escapism, brand transparency, live collaboration, 90s retro UI, argument, reality. About first one, that is anthropomorphic animations. Given how long we spent looking at our screens, it was only a matter of time before those screens would start looking back quickly. We are not talking about self-aware computers, but as 2021 approach, many interfaces are talking on the appearance of life through anthropomorphic animations. This refers to animations that mimic human movements, such as blinking eyes or nodding heads. It starts in contrast to flasher animation trends, namely the morphing shapes of motion graphics that pervade digital design. Instead, the power of anthropomorphic animation lies in its subtlety. You may be deep into reading a product description before you notice that the character next to it just brushed her hair out of her eyes. The perfect effect is all the more immersive as through the design itself is only marginally conscious of its own movements the way real humans are. Second one, that is advanced micro interactions. While the general purpose of design is communication, digital design can accomplish a literal back and forth that of interactions, feedback these movements in which a user takes an action, such as clicking on a button that because the page to respond are generally referred to as micro interactions, and their purpose is to foster a feeling of tactile satisfaction. While page responses like these are nothing new in 2021, we are seeing micro interaction become a lot more macro. Designers are interfacing them through extreme animation and page transition. This can range from sudden zooms to a complete reshuffling of the page layout. Although a less in more approach has law of the digital land for aids now. These over-the-top transitions do not come across as intrusive since the user is causing them to happen. The end result is UX that responds to input in increasingly dazzlingly and creative ways, maximizing the user's connection with the page.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Irani. Now I'm going to explain individual learning. Online education has been one of the greatest benefit of the internet age. Make a learning is a new skill of the purpose, new career path, more accessibility than even before. But the dark back is that is a slower dependent on the individual. The student must both of motivation themselves taught every step of the coursework, while simulation assembling their own work. But in 2021, US is moving to the front of class to offer learning tools that actually empower students. Designers accomplish that thought individual learning in which education app use matchmaker technologies, psychologist tests, remote feedback and scheduling tools to tailor the learning experience to each users. That the typical come in the form of the robot dashboard that make easily than easy to take progress, set goals and learn to make mistake. In the way US designed the trend of 2021 bring online education that much close to simulating the one-on-one experience that too so hard to come by in lectures halls. Next, we are going to explain pedagogy. Mapping a user journey is a circular step and any software design. And in 2021, that journey is looking lot of signs of US embarks on virtual vacations, which is to say, we are seeing US designers make exotic location and wanderlust lifestyle the imperative of there is a layout. International scenes of apacism is viewed. This trading can experience itself, those organic and less color schism, gallery landing, scoring or oversized hero image where a layout of the created realistic deep minimalism in the UI element in the key technology here giving those image the full spotlights. It's like no contestic. This US trading has spawning up into the work on stay at home. Order that have forced people live vicariously thought digital works. Lucky for us, the US design of 2021 make those world feel more like the place work actually want to live in. Good US is a silent teacher. It shows user where to the find a menu or button without them need to ask. Navigation, however, is not to only lessons. UX has to implement. Recently, we are seeing to rise in the UX than is centered around the demonstrating and branding ethics. Show the users how exactly products are made or services are redundant. This might including label highlights the sustainable materials used to social media pop-up or overrides that experience transparency policies around how context is modern. Brand are begin to realize to that first thing visitors that to take a website phone to that day is not necessary a CTA button show in the door face. Instance many are considered the user who needs to know that a brand share there's a value. Although clear product breakdowns and transparent labeling, the UX design of 2021 are democrating that and exciting both in the digital space and in the role world is a service effect. This brand privacy describes. Next describes for the Mr. Dishan Karan. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Buddhika. Sixth one is live collaboration. Just when it seems like to work could not get any more digital, a pandemic made work from home a global standard. As a result, it's not a surprise that there's been an increase in online collaboration features, and we expect this trend to continue 2021. Example of these kind of features include live viewing, editing, commenting, messaging, and tagging, culminating in a resounding death knell for a local file. UI designers, for their part, are representing the simultaneous user through vibrant color coding, creative cursor design, and businessy avatar. Seventh one is 19th Retro UI. In recent year, brutalism made ugly design cheek through jarring color scheme and glitch art. In 2021, this trend is evolving into something much less brutal and more nostalgic. Specifically, there has been a rise in 19th inspired retro interface. This style can incorporate a number of techniques, include VHS pixelate typography, screen treating, glitch transition, primitive 3D animation, and membership design. While the retro flair can be as subtle as you want to make it, we expect this trend more commonly on interface that can afford to be a little adventure. For example, musician, artists, and street apparel brands. The effect is UI that feel both avant-garde and comfortably familiar at the same time, reminding us all of an era when digital design was in a infancy and the possibility were endless. It one is augmented reality. Although augmented reality (AR) has excited in some from since the 19th, the evaluation of the smartphone camera has firmly launched into the mainstream. Up until now, it has largely been dismissed as gimmickly tech. The most common interaction of which we encounter is Snapchat and Instagram selfie filters. But in 2021, AR apps are expanding to become more practical and commonplace. We are seeing AR applied to everything from property rental to a museum to nature, work, and beyond. This rising popularity will lead UX designers to focus on interface that can be easily adapted to a camera overlay. Another true but dynamic labels and 3D pathing, given that mobile phone usage has already surpassed desktop browsing, digital experience have long been integrated into daily life, and UX designers are providing as signposts through this brave new virtual world through a smart AR interface. Thank you.